known globally as a symbol that represents companies that are committed to changing the world. They can give away their sustenance goods, okay, food, drugs, power, clothing, for free.
I thought we were talking about Hancock.
Most important thing with all heart is brand recognition. That's why I've mocked up these examples here in Tokyo, London, Dubai, Paris.
Scene was from a movie called Hancock, and the guy that you saw in the scene was Ray. And this guy runs a public relations company, and he promotes different kinds of brands. And he's talking about how they can promote an all heart symbol, which they want to create, and the emotion or the feeling associated with that particular symbol. So understanding here, let's start to understand what exactly is branding, okay, to begin with. So branding essentially is a power or a value addition to a product or a service that any company offers, right? So that is the process of what branding is. So we will discuss quite a few different kinds of brands that have been created nowadays, and let's understand what do branding does actually. So branding essentially makes a mental image, right, in our heads. So when I say ours, I mean the consumer's head, people who are consuming anything that they are seeing, right? So this could be um, you can be seeing an ad and you are associating it with a feeling. That's a mental image that is being created inside your head. Okay, branding does that. It also gives us knowledge of what exactly the brand is all about, and it obviously clarifies the decision making process for us. So we understand that whether we need to buy this product or not. So if branding is done properly, we would generally buy the product. Okay, so that's the idea essentially. Now, here we will discuss some elements of a brand. So it starts with being a memorable brand. So think of brands such as Apple. Now, Apple has a tagline of "Think Different," right? And brands are generally associated with these things. So branding would incorporate things such as taglines, logos, symbols, anything that catches the eyes. The brand ambassadors are also part of the branding process. So how to make this brand popular is through brand elements. And first is the memorable part. So like I was mentioning, Apple is one of the most memorable brands. Now think of Apple. Apple is a it had a it's like a IT product, and it had uh, competitors such as HP, IBM at the time, right? And to have suddenly a company called Apple, first of all, is very weird, right, to begin with. But it did its positioning well, and it made its mark, and its logo was very, very different. Obviously, it was Apple itself, half eaten apple, and the tagline said, "Think different." So that was one. Uber is another. Uber also has a very good tagline. Move your way. That was one of the taglines for them. Then meaningful, right? So how can brand elements be meaningful? Think of Nike, and Nike has a tagline, "Just do it," and you would know this tagline. You would remember it by heart, right? How do you remember that? It's because Nike tells a story. Okay, Nike always has a story. All brands generally has a story, and Ray in the scene that we saw was also trying to tell a story behind the brand. Okay, they were associating a story with it. So Nike's story is about determination, achievement, victory. When you see Nike's ad, you are motivated from inside, right? You will see athletes running and achieving a particular goal, and then comes the tagline of "Just do it." So that is the kind of meaningful brand element that you can associate with the brand. Likable, yes, again, brands can be likable. There's so many brands that are likable, especially in India, such as the Amul, one of the most likable products in India, right? And we will have a case study where we study what exactly is likable about Amul. Adaptable, now a lot of times one needs to keep adapting in the market, right? So very good example would be Facebook here. So they recently changed their entire thing with Meta. They came out with a different logo. Everything was different for them, right? So adaptable is another brand element that can be adopted by companies around. Shell is another company that has almost changed its logo and its brand 10 times. So over the years, they have done this 10 times. So that's like, wow. Okay, so brand value would be again defined by three important things. Please remember this. Um, G for genuineness, authenticity, and realness. So, any product or service that is being marketed needs to have these three values for sure. That is how people relate to the product or the service that is being offered. So quickly, we'll look at a case study for Amul, right? So why does everybody, everybody is very very fascinated by Amul in India? Um, yes, taglines can sometimes change. Like I said, adaptable, right? So products need to be adaptable, and services can be adaptable, and they can change their taglines. If it is working, companies might not change it, but sometimes they do, right? So when we look at Amul, Amul has a tagline of Taste of India, and it started with Doodh Pita Hai India, right? Initially, and the girl that you see, the girl on the in the polka dot red dress, she is the mascot, and when Amul started off, they started off with print ads, and these were such amazing ads. And Amul ads still are considered to be one of the best in the industry because they tackle all the recent events that happen. Correct. And you might have seen these ads. These are such amazing ads, and print media has separate, that is always in newspapers. You will find it digitally also. They are doing a very good job in marketing their product. Now remember, Amul has like line extensions of products and category extensions. That means that Amul has different kinds of categories. So that would be chocolates, your all your daily dairy products, so butter, cheese, ice creams, all these, paneer is also one of their products. So all these different categories, and product extension is, so a butter can have different flavors of butter. So plain butter, garlic butter, salted butter. So these are called line extension of that same product. So butter ka line extension. So I hope that is clear. So this is the kind of branding they did, right? So they have always succeeded, one of the greatest in India. So now, please remember, all brands elicit a feeling or emotion inside of you, and that is why you generally want to buy a product or a service, right? So let's say when you eat something from let's say Amul, you would be reminded of your childhood days, or maybe you are just somebody who's patriotic. So you'll say, oh, this is like, this is when you taste a product after watching an advertisement. So you'll want to buy that product because some emotion comes up in you, right? Now marketeers would generally play on this emotion of yours, right? Generally. And there is this whole another episode where I tell you about how they are playing with your psyche sometimes. There are subliminal perceptions also behind that, but that's for another episode. But right now you have to understand, brand is associated with feelings, emotions, resonance, all these things, right? And that is why, and you when you see 10 butters in a departmental store, you go for the Amul product because you associate Amul with quality, right? You associate, that is true for any other brand also. So if you associate it with other brands, you might buy that one rather than Amul, right? And therein comes another concept, why we are buying a particular product. And I will show you one more movie scene before we proceed further in this particular topic today. So here we go, guys.
हमने देश और विदेश के कुछ लोगों को ये ड्रिंक टेस्ट करवाया और इन सब का कहना यही है. Hi, how do you find refresh?
Excellent. I tried it first and it's the best.
Delicious and refreshing. आपको refresh कैसा लगा? Very fresh and very tasty. This is the best.
सब नकली है. नौटंकी वाले हैं, पैसे देने की बुलवा है. इनका क्या करें? इनका खींच के फेंक दो.
आजकल की मल्टीनेशनल कंपनीज अपने प्रोडक्ट को पहचान देने के लिए फिल्म स्टार्स, क्रिकेटर्स और मॉडल्स पे करोड़ों रुपए खर्च करती हैं.
करेक्ट.
लेकिन हमने सोचा कि हम इन सब से कुछ अलग करेंगे, एकदम ओरिजिनल. हम अपनी ड्रिंक को लॉन्च करने के लिए एक ऐसा स्टार लेंगे जिसने इस पूरे शहर को एक नई पहचान दी है. The one and only समीर.
Wow.
Right. So I hope you saw that scene clearly. That was from a movie called Dil Hai Tumhara. Now, Shalu is a marketing agent for this particular company, and she's giving a presentation. Now, Shalu is Preeti Zinta in the movie, and she's telling people, there is this one drink that they have launched, and it's called Refresh. It's a juice, apple juice. And she's asking different people, how are you liking it, right? So now herein comes the concept of brand loyalty, right? People buy a particular product because they love it, right? Because they associate it with it deeply. You have seen this over the years, especially between Coca-Cola and Pepsi, right? Although for me they taste similar, but for an ardent fan who knows what they are drinking, they know that I want to buy Coca-Cola, or the other person would say I would want to buy Pepsi, even if they are differently priced. So even if Coca-Cola is highly priced, they would still buy Coca-Cola because they're an ardent fan. Right? So there is a positive association of a consumer with that particular brand. And this is what we are trying to understand. Why would that be created? Right? That is created over a period of time. People become loyal to a product over a period of time. They don't become loyal in just one day or after like 5 days. It takes time. So customers need to form a bond towards that particular product. And what better product to understand than Maggi in India, right? So let's understand it through a case study of Maggi. Now, Maggi is, like all of you must be knowing, it is a Nestle product, right? So Nestle is a Swiss company, and in India they run Nestle India, and in India they manufacture Maggi, produce Maggi, right? So in various factories. Now, what happened in 2015 was that there was excessive lead that was found in Maggi. Now, when there is excessive lead in something, this was not agreeable to FSSAI, which is the Food and Safety Security Standards in India. Obviously, later it came out that we need to ban Maggi. A similar kind of thing had happened in 2003 with Cadbury, when there were worms found in that chocolate. Now, what happened that there was a serious blow to the brand, as it was awarded the most trusted brand in 2014 itself, right? So this was something that was absolutely mind blowing for Maggi, right? Suddenly they had to recall all the Maggi packets from the shelves across India and destroy it. So there was around 640 crore loss for Nestle at that particular point of time. So what did Maggie do after that, right? So this happened in around June of 2015. It started in June, and by July they were out of shelves and out of the market. And there were other competitors such as at that time in 2015 there were competitors such as Patanjali, Nor, and Top Ramen. Later, Top Ramen also had to do the same thing. They were also going out of shelves because it also had excessive lead. So what was happening in this case, right? So they had to build the trust back. Maggie, as you would know already, right now it is one of the most trusted brands, but at that time in 2015 it wasn't. So by November it came back, it started to come back, and they started a digital campaign, right? And they wanted to come back through some digital campaign of "We miss you too," right? So they started this on Twitter and on other channels as well, and this took off. Also, they had to start to build trust even at the most rural part of India. So they started something called a 24/7 customer service toll helpline number, so that they can say, no, we are safe now, we are lead free, and we are under the permissible limits that are given by the food departments. And so this can be used in your daily cooking. Also, they started a lot of events and brand activation activities, so that they can come back to this process and feel welcomed by the Indian audience again. And more importantly, at that point of time, it was so good that that Maggie had almost the similar amounts of profit, which were there in 2014, not even in 2015 before the ban. So prior to the ban, right? So that is the kind of trust they built again, and they were again in the market with the same kind of credibility that was there with them before the ban. So if brands have to build that kind of trust with the audience, they have to take certain measures, and these are the measures that they take, right? So some brand building activities or campaigning definitely goes like this. So I hope you have understood this concept for today. There are so many other things as well that can be discussed. Right now, I will leave it at that.